Hi guys, you're in the right place if you want to learn how to draw by understanding what you're looking at rather than breaking things down into shapes. And today we're going to be doing this female rainbow bee eater. So a very big thank you to Bernadette Edwards Photography for use of your gorgeous photo for today's tutorial. So we're going to be doing a fair amount of shading today. So I'd like you to get a pen that hopefully isn't going to be blotchy. I better get a Kleenex just in case. And I want you to be able to do some fairly faint markings, for the shading, and then use heavier pressure to get some really good contrast. So you just need a pen that's going to behave itself today, and your scrap piece of paper. And just while you're getting set up, I want to talk a little bit about the photo and the angle that she's perched at. So she's not square to us, and we know that because we have this curvature of her upper chest, and we do see the profile of the wing on this side. So yeah, this is going to be a good tutorial on angles, I think. So hopefully by now you're going to be all set up. She's actually quite long, and we want to make sure we have space for these distinctive tail feathers. So when you're starting on your paper, make sure that you've got that length so that she fits in, and you're not drawing half of her on your desk, which is what I've done before. So if we start underneath the bill, we see these throat feathers are they're not lying flat because she's got her head tilted back. So we do have this curvature. Oh, I wanted to start a little bit higher. It's okay. Under her throat, under her bill, and then it comes straight down to her throat, and then this black collar band, and then we've got this this profile of her chest and out, and then it curves in and down, and this is actually her back toe. Now when we cross her bill, see how her forehead is a little bit, just a little bit not perfectly lined up there. This also helps give the angle to her head, so that she's got a small forehead there, and it comes back. So the awkward angle for me to sketch. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. This flat section, the top of her head, and then curving down to the back of her head, just above the eye band here. We got this distinctive section here, and then this is right to her back. This is a little section of her back right here, and then the wing finishes that curve and comes down fairly straight. I think that's good enough for now. So from her throat, let's get this eye band in. Let's pay attention to your angles. We've got the black over the top of her nose. And then her eye. And then the black eye band continues along the side of her face. So leave space for this white. And don't carry her black eye band all the way to, don't go back too far. And then we need this white section, this white stripe, a distinctive marking. What we can do is just lightly mark this in, just with a little bit of shading so that we know that that's the black. And then it goes across her bill. Now for the bottom part of her bill, see how this curve is kind of like, I don't know, I just, like, it doesn't have a real bend in it. That's the top part of the bill. So the bottom part of the bill, just carry your line out. And she is a bee eater, so she's got this impressive bill. Try your best. Don't worry about having it too long. Just don't make it too short. Now for the top bill, you see how it has more of a curve? It's sort of like thicker and stuff. So we want to have an angle that's different from what we've done on the bottom. So have it thicker coming off her forehead and then curve it in to meet the end of the lower bill that you've already done. You can just do a small dark marking at the top of her bill, which is right here. It'll be a nostril. And the bill is pretty much divided, which we can sort of see. We'll worry about this shading once we get her key features down. Let's go back and finalize what we want to do with the eye. I'm going to give her a black border. The pupil is actually quite large, so she can see all those bees. Leave a large white section on the lens. And since we're here, how about we get this collar let's try to move from marking to marking and just have this, shade this a little bit. So that we know where we are. with the black. Okay. Now, we have her chest, the side of her wing, and this is coming straight down. And see where, if we take the bottom of her wing and we go straight up, we're kind of finishing here where her bill starts. But if you're not comfortable, like me, putting a tip on this wing, let's leave it for now. And why don't we just put in, if we get the body size correct, and just very carefully put in a little toe here, which is this. And then we've got these feathers that are over the bar here, and then these are toes here. And other feathers that are around the bar. We have some shadow, as well as the gray markings here. Fluffy feathers. So now I know that I need to push her back out a little bit more. So widen this wing a bit, and then take this down where the wing folds into the longer feathers. They lay against her tail. I have no idea how big these birds are. See how this wing ends here? And this is a tip here. Just try your best. Take that down. You can always fix it later if you're not happy with your angles. And we're doing the bottom part of her body. That's the underlying bum feathers. Oh, I took that down too far. Get up a little bit. The fluffy bum feathers. Now see how with her bum feathers, this is the underside of the wing. This right here is this here. So the feathers on the outside, that's part of her flight feathers, and then comes down on the tail. So this space is smaller than what I've got here. So what I'm going to do is bring this over a little bit. That's what I want to do, is make this just change these angles a little bit. See, I don't have her twisted as much as she should be. I've got her too square, facing forward. The tail has quite a flare to it. Don't put this tail feather out past the wing. See how the tips are angled down? So that also shows that she's turned toward us. Right now I'm trying to decide if I should make her tail longer or not. Also made it a little bit wider than I'd like. And then these distinctive, just keep these very small. This little fork. And this wing it's too thick here. I'm going to see if I can just pull her, fluff these bum feathers out a little bit more. It's kind of want to have a little bit of a curvy edge here for the shading. So when you have a section that you want to shade, just put more pressure on your pen so you're getting that down. And this is shadow here under the wing where the light's being blocked and her body is curving. And then just super light pressure to get down some of that gray. for the under part of her tail. Which is also in shadow. We want to make sure that's nice and dark. I think I made her tail a little bit too wide. Well, if that's today's only infraction, then I'll be happy. Don't put these in the center, okay? Because she's twisted. She's turned away a little bit, so they should be off center. I'm gonna have to leave this alone here because I don't like it. Let's do a little bit of shading. Keep your pen nice and light. See how these feathers have dividers? You can see the center. And then just put in a little bit of the gray. This gives the effect. We could see that the feathers are layered. And make sure you leave this white in here. So don't go too crazy with your gray. Just use your pen. Put in some sporadic gray patches. This gives texture underneath these feathers. Okay, let's just keep working up and see, we're kind of getting off easy today because we can't see her little foot with the toes around the top. But we know that the back claws, the back toe is usually quite long. So we know this is going to be the back toe that's coming around the bar, and this is the claw that we see right here. So what I'd like you to do is just distort some of these feathers that are crossing the bar, hiding her foot. And let's just go. I have this is her chest here, and these are the wing feathers on her shoulder. So not only do we have markings, we've got a distinctive area where the chest and the wing are coming together. I'm going to just shade this in a little bit. Change in her shoulder here. Now, if we go back and if you're happy with where you've put her collar, you can shade that in, but don't go too heavy, only under her chin right here, because the light is reflecting off the gloss of this collar. We don't want to make it solid. We can see where the black tips of these feathers are like layering in to her chest, and the same into the orange. Let's take these up a little bit. And let's just use a lighter pressure shading for the orange. Keep your pen away from this white stripe. Now we can go darker in a minute if we have to. But whatever pressure you're using to do the orange, I'd like you to go and do this orange on her head. See how this patch is above the eye? I just want to make sure that. And then this, use the same color pen, now do brown. And then this beautiful lime green. It's across the bill, along that, above the eye, but around to the back. Just try not to make her look all like the same shade. And if you're happy with the size of the eye stripe that you've done, go ahead and darken that in. It's not uniform, right? Here we've got the curve of her cheek out, so the light is catching those feathers there. I'm just using different amounts of pressure on my pen, or with my pen. Let's do the bottom part of her bill while we're here. Let's take the dark up for this part and then really taper it off toward the end. This gives the curve. And then just use light pressure to get this gray in. Otherwise it's gonna look like she's got too much of a whitish bill. Now see how the bill comes into the face like this, right here? And there's the black feathers mixed in with the yellowish feathers. So what I'd like you to do is just break this all up by putting in some like little freckles or something, little dots. All we want to do is show how it's not all perfectly neat and tidy where the bill joins the face. And same that you did here and here, just break up this line a little bit on her eye stripe. Carry this black back and underneath her eye. Okay. Time to color yellow. But just very carefully get some shading in here because we want to have a distinction between the yellow under her bill, the blend into the orange, and then dropping into the black. And all that has to be different from this white that we've got underneath her eye patch. So this is all light because of coloring, but also it's the curve of her chest, and this area here is being presented to the sun, so it's lighter anyway. So as you move down her chest, there is some subtle textures that show the curvature. First of all, we've got the change in the coloring, but also there is the darker sections of her chest where it's curving back into her tummy. So just try to take these down first of all, and then stay away from this to leave it actually white. And if that's okay, then what we're going to do is just go back, darken the grays, and then give her a bit more texture on the chest. There are these small patches where the feathers are like not all lining up nicely. It's creating a dark patch. See how it's a little bit grayish here? It's so typical. It's like this split in the breast. I just want to darken a little bit, but not too much. And then the light blue. Okay, how about we put in the pole so that we can finish off her little tooties and the feathers around that. So what we've got is feather coming over, and then this is shadow behind, and then her toes. So just how about see where you've put in her little toes and make sure that the pole makes sense in that area. Don't worry about having it straight, or don't do that to yourself. It doesn't matter. Just do what makes sense for your sketch. And I'll do what makes sense for my sketch. So these are chest feathers that are drooping over the pole. She hasn't been skewered, so don't worry about that. Now we can go back and do some of the details around this wing. Get this marking in, this kind of rust-colored tan. Which now looks like black. This is all too heavy here. It's a little bit more shading through these tail feathers. I want to make it all the same color. Okay, and there's a little bit of, with this greenish blue bottom part of her tummy. A bit more shading here. And then use the heavier shading with your pen to distinguish between the underside of her wing and her body in here. And you can also use that shadow to change the profile of her body, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, now should we just clean up your lines around her bill? Just want to darken this a little bit more. She won't be catching many bees if she doesn't have a good. And then can we just go back and darken the orange on her head a little bit? A little bit off her nose and at the back of her head too, to sort of show the change in the angle. Oh, I didn't want to get too carried away here. Have you made her wide enough? Because there's two places where you can correct under her throat and her chest, and then this part here with her back. Well, what do you think? Did she turn out okay? I think she doesn't look too bad. I'm almost not trusting my pen to not disappoint and leave a great big black mark where I don't want it. Darken the top of her wing just a little bit in here to show where her body is curving. Did yours turn out okay? Did you screw up the wings like I did? Or did you manage to get it a little bit better? Well, I think she's about the best what we can do for today. Best we can do with the outline that I've put down. Okay. Fuss, fuss, fuss. Oh, she's all right. So we kind of got off a little bit easy because I didn't have us doing a bunch of toes and a branch. But after trying to be so careful around this, it didn't turn out as well as it could have. But anyway, at least we did some sketching. And I had your company. Okay, female rainbow bee eater in the books. Thanks, you guys. Always delightful to have you with me, and I'll see you next time.